Hello, everyone, and welcome to Delta, BC. Happy New Year's, everyone, as we are in for some New Year's Day curling. And it is in Delta for the Under-18 BC Championship. We are into the men's semifinal. I'm Luke Coley, joined by Will Sutton, as we bring you live coverage of this semifinal game. They played a round robin. And Will, you know these teams, they get to this point, it's... you want to get to that final. They've played really well, and now you want to try and get to that stage, trying to fight for that national championship.
Absolutely. Both teams here in the semifinal, one's at 3-1 and one's at 2-2, and the winner of this game will have the opportunity to represent BC in one of those positions at the Nationals, so they're excited to be here, I think.
Yeah, and these two, obviously, in under 18, it's the future of the game. It's something we've seen. The growth, you're seeing the future champions today, and we've seen previous ones. The big name Tyler Tardy, a past champion of this event. Now these two get to that national stage, and anytime you get to go to a national championship, it means a lot. So winner of this gets that spot. The other one won't, but it's a learning. Now they get to go out. They're going to be televised or on the live stream, and they get to showcase for not just the family and friends, but everyone around the world, wherever they want to watch this game from. So I'm glad you guys could tune in. Will, I'm glad to be part with you, and it looks like we're moments away from getting underway here. 8 ends scheduled for these as we will get underway with the Red Stones for Team Fenton and their lead, Wesley Wu.
Team Fenton is playing with 3 players this week, you'll notice, so they've been doing this all week, so not an injury or illness. This is just the lineup for this roster.
Well, and sometimes you get that first stone that comes into the rings and electing to play the hits. Younger teams keep it a little simpler. We see some where they'll want to go after it right away, but Adrian Tam electing, ask his lead, Evan Fenton, to play the hit and keep things a little simpler here in end number 1.
Yeah, nice nose hit there from the lead, Evan Fenton. So the ice this week has been great. It's running fairly keen and but is very release sensitive. So you'll see when the athletes are throwing their rocks that having a nice clean release is really key on this ice to ensure the rock isn't falling back on you or running a little straight. Nice to see both teams are using a real control weight here, Luke. It's not overthrowing these rocks, and it's nice to see both teams are sticking around. It seems like they've got a good understanding of the ice conditions here in the semifinals.
Yeah, and obviously not a big field, but there's 5 men's teams here for this one. Not a huge, it's not a long event as some people may see, like a World Championship or a Brier. They play 5 games. Obviously, under 18, they're going to be in good shape and fairly young, so they can do it. But it allows them to get out there, play the games. And Fenton, his side, they come in, they were 2-0 to start. They won their first 2. They've dropped their next 2. And against the teams, Adrian Tam, Chris Parkinson, who's in the final awaiting the winner of this one. So it's important to them that they're able to get a good start. Maybe keeping it simple is a good thing.
Absolutely. They sounds like they've lost a couple in a row, and an unfortunate overcurl there. Looks like Skip there just giving a little bit of feedback to his lead on the release there.
I think you talked about that, Will. It's that release. It's important. And that Fenton team is playing with 3, so we'll see how they manage the sweeping with the one sweeper being used by a lot of sides in the game the last few years. See who can really utilize that to their advantage, and maybe it's an advantage for Adrian Tam with a 4-player team. We'll find out in these 8 ends.
Yeah, I think on any ice conditions, it's very important for curlers to be able to have a good line of delivery and a clean release, and that doesn't really change. But on ice conditions that are a little bit more release sensitive, it tends to show a little more on for those teams or players who don't have that good line of delivery and clean release. So it can be a real test out here, and look forward to seeing it today from both teams.
Well, hit and try and roll them closer together, trying to get out of it after the miss. Just try and bunch those stones up. Maybe have an opportunity to double to get out of the end.
Alex Duncan Wu, who just threw that rock, he was previously a skip on this Fenton team and stepped away from a year or so, and has come back now in the third position.
Hard to the rock. Hard. Come on.
Right away on this one. They had one over curl early on them. That on the other side, pardon me, for Fenton side. They don't want to leave a double when they actually roll towards the other blue stone in the rings. So will it take on this double, go after it right now?
Absolutely, yeah. It looks like a really good chance to make the double. Might be tough to stick around, but I think in this first end, based on them going in the rings with their first one, the goal here was a blank for Team Fenton, so more force.
Well, unable
just
to make that double,
just curl there. On
the wrong side of it, so it rolls out. So just that one blue stone belonging to Adrian Tam and his team. They have the hammer. They get last stone in this first end due to the better record in round robin. They went 3-1. Lone loss to Chris Parkinson, who's in the final. Tomorrow awaits the winner of this. They'll try to take advantage of an early miss early on. Doesn't take much, but one miss, see if they can utilize that. Gonna draw to the wing. Just need to get anything in the rings here to take advantage, and great sweep, Fenton and Lamb there to get that one into the top of the 12-foot.
They swept that one pillar to post, Luke.
Yeah, that's the front end that you really need to utilize, have that sweeping ability, get it all the way there. We'll see. Alex Duncan Wu, try and roll it to the center again. Try and create either a jam or a double possibility. There's the hit. Try and roll it in front. Oh, very nice. Very close to shot stone. It's like second shot right in front of that blue stone.
Really nice control weight used there by Team Fenton. First, making sure they stick around, and secondly, getting the roll over there. So well done to them on that.
Avoid the jam. That's the big worry, and that roll was perfect. Caused the jam, and now just like that, Adam Fenton's in business out of the end where they may not give up the 2. Right now lying 1. Like they're trying to hit and roll away or just peel this one out, Will.
Yeah, it looks like it being the first end. If it was a little later in the game, you might see Team Fenton look at this as a steal opportunity, but I think based on the call in the first end, they threw it in the rings. The first shot of this end, they threw it in the rings, and it was pretty clear they wanted to blank. So this looks like a good chance to keep the blank going, or maybe even get a force. A little bit of background on Adam Fenton here is he wasn't skipping up until this season, and has become a skip this year. So previously played either front end or third, and but has really developed well into this skip position. Had the pleasure of watching him play at Royal City the last few months, and learned how to be a skip.
Well, they change their
Oh,
mind on
apologies. They did
what-
elect to throw the draw.
Yeah, made that decision in the hack. Sometimes, as a coach, you like to see them maybe come back down, take a look at it, but comes into the rings. Still tough to get at that one back forefoot.
Yeah, worked out pretty good. I was too busy talking and not watching the player in the hack there to see him change the call, Luke.
Well, a lot of great people working behind the scenes to make sure that we can bring this to you and that this championship can go on. Will, you're with competitions manager with Curl BC. It hasn't been an easy go to make sure you get this one underway. So you're able to have an opportunity to see that. They're out on the ice and do just as that, as they work to try and get this set up. Possible steal now, and this first end really has swung quickly.
Yeah, it's great to see the event happening. The organizing committee, the volunteers, and everyone to organize this event and get it underway. It was a little unexpected, but we are thrilled to see the athletes out here competing and to see all the safety protocols in place to allow that to happen right now.
Yeah, and the big thing is it's going on, obviously keeping everybody safe, but because there's the national championship on the line, or position on the line, there's a nationals for under 18 that top two teams in the men's side will get to go to out of this.
Absolutely, the top two men's and top two women's teams will have that opportunity to advance. Nice shot there from Team Tam, keeping both blues in the rings. So Team Fenton electing to possibly deal with one of them here.
Yeah, those extra ones add up, and it makes every shot that much more dangerous as you look at it. Oh, if we don't make this, it could be 2 or 3 as opposed to the steal that we have set up right now. Hit and roll out, so a little error there. Does get rid of the 1, but it opens up their stone back the forefoot for Adrian Tam and his team to get a 2 in this first end.
I think Adrian will want to throw that same sort of control weight as teammates have thrown earlier this end to hopefully make the nose hit here.
So the final stone here, this first end, Adrian Tam. Control weight hit. It's to stick around, and we'll get it right on the beak. So an early deuce to get the first score of this men's semifinal from Delta. And it is Adrian Tam and his team leading 2-0 over Adam Fenton. So the second end
get a
begins.
chance. Sorry, Luke.
Go ahead there, Will.
Oh, apologies. I was just saying we didn't get a chance to see many draws in that first end, and and a little bit warm there with the first one. Ice has been about 15 to 15 and a half seconds for draw weight this week, is what the coaches have reported to us, and it looks like this draw is continuing the same.
So a little different strategy in this second end. The first one went through the rings for Team Tam, and Adam Fenton goes, well, he gave up the 2. Let's get our corner guard and try and get things in position and go after it.
Looking to throw the center guard here, bring play back towards the middle. So pretty good setup here for Team Fenton.
Well, you always hear if you put the corner guard up, you want to use it, and here they're going to go try and go around it. See this a few times throughout the game with just 3 players, as they've been doing throughout the event. Fenton and their team. We'll see the thrower, in this case, Wesley Wu, come up and sweep. Just didn't give it enough weight to get there, even with the sweep by Alex Duncan Wu.
So they're talking about coming around one of these corner guards. Not the wrong call. One of the challenges though with that is this team doesn't have the hammer, so they're playing to the wings pretty early in the end if they're going around the corner guards here. So another option might be to throw a center guard in this situation, just to try to get play back towards the middle.
Well, you heard that a number called there. That is 16. Will, that's the hog-to-hog time that they're using to determine the weight. And as you alluded to, we've seen about 15 and a half on the ice surface here at the Delta Thistle Curling Club. Leaves that one short of the rings.
Yeah, left it short, but in a pretty reasonable spot, I think. If that had come in, it would have actually left a pretty good hit and roll chance for Team Fenton. So might have worked out okay for him.
So this is the 3rd stone for Wesley Wu. Of course, so the first player, Wesley Wu, listed as their lead, will throw 3 stones. Then Alex Duncan Wu will also throw 3, and the skip will throw his regular 2 in Adam Fenton. And there chips that blue into the top of the 12-foot and rolls through. Just a slight miscue, but maybe just overthrown.
Yeah, I think just an overthrow there. Wesley might have had a chance in the first end, and to make that adaptation on his next one. Seemed quite heavy.
The risk with playing behind the corner guard is going deep, and this one will go deep, leaving out open that play behind the corner. So Fenton has them out in front, an opportunity they try and get utilize and take advantage.
I didn't quite get a view of the there, but I see it being here with the other team sitting behind the T line.
Well, utilize this, try and play the hit and roll themselves. Make the hit and roll. Only problem there, it didn't get them shot stone. They needed to roll bigger in order to get shot stone.
Team Tam looks to be ignoring that one now and playing around the corner guard without last rock here. Chance to sit two though.
Ethan Chu, the third for Team Tam. Again, young curlers, I'm sure they'll be talked to with their coach and everything. These stones, you want to have them in the top of the house. Deep, you can't do anything with it. It actually plays into your opponent's hands. So this one, sliding deeper in the house and lets Fenton and his side off the hook a little bit. It is Tam lying two with those two blue stones, but look at all that real estate in front available for Fenton to get to.
And you nailed it, Luke. This is all about keeping the T line. So we've seen about 4 rocks come down this path. Hopefully Alex is able to learn from some of those previous witnesses.
Well, a case of one being a little heavy, one being light here. Look at the big sweep to get it by. And they won't. They'll actually roll to a center guard. Well, it looks awfully juicy to try and bring another in, but how do you get there? You got to go real wide.
Yeah,
if you're gonna do
it's
that.
tough to get there, and the feedback we've had on this ice is it's a little bit straighter out on the 8-foot and 12-foot lines on the draws, so it might even be tougher to get behind those guards coming from further out on the wings. So what we've been told is there's about 3 feet of curl on the and then as you go it's a bit straighter.
I don't mind this call. Just take away the tap because that's the easiest way now for Fenton to get in. Now we're looking at either peeling or a double tap.
Looks like the deal is the call.
Yeah, and last to third stones, I like this. Just open it up, give yourself something, and it doesn't quite clip that other red, so there's a bit of stagger between them. So you see those two blue right in the back, belong to Adrian Tam and his team, leading 2-0 in the game.
It looks like the guard again, Luke. Is that...
It looks like it with the ice they're putting, because they're definitely not enough to get around, and I think it's just try and take away that tap option.
If we're able to get an overhead view right now, I'm not sure if this tapped a little harder than it previously was. Another shot to maybe take away here would be that out-turn draw. Nonetheless, here take away the tap.
Yeah, and there's a look at the angles that they're going to try and take away.
A little tougher than it was previously, so it might have been worth considering taking away the out-turn draw around that blue one.
Just don't want to line anything up and make it easier. Yeah, and they might have just done that being close to that one.
It's one of those ones where it comes a little deep and actually makes the shot easier than it was before. So early on in this game, I think are trying to learn what the draw weight is. Seen a few draws come behind the tee line, and it's come a little further than they were supposed to be on both teams. So I think we'll see them both working in the next couple ends to hone in on that draw weight. Those simple shots.
See, there's the switch in how to manage that sweeping with or against the curl for Wesley Wu, or pardon me, Alex Duncan Wu. And look at that tap right into the rings. And we'll get back button for shot stone. That could be a game-saving shot, because if you don't get that one in, you may be facing 2 or 3 with your last, and not a real good way to get in there.
Absolutely. Game saver early in this second end, and maybe even a skip's deuce, depending on what Team Tam can respond with here.
All comes down. It's, as an under 18 team, haven't been playing the game as long. Sometimes for fans that sit and are watching a lot of curling, you just play this, you just play that tap, you play that guard. It's that easy. They're so precise in where they put that. And these guys are so good now at this age, part of the high performance program within Curl BC that helps develop and move to that next level and grow the sport for the province of British Columbia. They're going to try and utilize this, put the guard out. I think have to take away the tap. I don't think you can get at this one at all if you're Adrian Tam.
And I think in terms of tolerance on this one, obviously leaving this one a little bit higher, a bit deeper would be the way to go. So see what the weight's like on.
Trying to fill that hole, and don't think. Will, can you fit a rock there? That's awfully close. They also have the wide out-turn just to get to the 8-foot.
Looks like that is the been allowed to. It sort of looked like the easier of the two shots from the overhead camera perspective, but you did have to leave one of these. So chance now for Team Fenton to get their 2 back.
Yeah, and like you said, Will, that skips deuce possibly. That's a spot we haven't seen in the first couple ends, but teams did have practice prior to the game, so this will be a path that they're normally playing.
Really well.
This looks real nice to get it into the 8-foot, get it far enough, get that second point, and there, a great skips deuce in the second end. They'll just confirm, but it looks to us that it is, as they'll kick them away. 2 right back by Adam Fenton. 2-2. After 2, it's the under 18 men's semifinal from Delta.
I turn the
Under-18 Provincial Championship for British Columbia. Hopefully everyone's enjoying the coverage here from this one as we're 2 ends in, 2 deuces each. I'm Luke Coley, joined with Will Sutton, past junior champ from BC, and a BC Curling Club champion as well, so a man who knows how to win the big one joining me for this one. We'll see how it finishes out as they try to get to the big one. Winner will play Chris Parkinson in the championship final tomorrow. And Will, we've seen a couple different ways to start ends. We saw the first end where first stone went in. The second end, we saw that attempt, but it went deep. So then we saw corner guard play. Here, starts with 2 centerline guards. That blue one for Tam intended to be in the rings.
Yeah, I think if you're Team Fenton, you're pretty happy with the setup at this point in time with 2 center guards up.
Well, both sides just struggling a little bit with that draw weight, not having the feel to get that come around. We've seen a couple go through in the first couple ends by those lead players, and they're great chance to get in around those centers and comes up short. So now it turns back to Team Tam and their chance.
With 3 center guards up, no other option here really but to go around them. You could throw up a corner guard, but there's 3 guards up, and the middle's probably not the wisest. Going to the old into the rings, probably just create a little opportunity position.
Well, we got a little bit of a mess out in front right now. Who can be the first one to get in through the first 4 stones here of this men's semifinal? Adrian Tam 3-1 through round robin of the 5-team field on the men's side. Well, Adam Fenton 2-2. Started 2 wins, then 2 losses. Well, Adrian Tam has won 3 straight. They dropped their first game to Chris Parkinson, but have won everything since. Wesley Wu will go to the back part of the rings. You see that a lot, Will, when draws are coming up short, ends up the next one, you overcompensate a little bit, maybe go as that one goes deep in the rings.
Absolutely, yeah, and that take a little more ice there, just a rock that wasn't quite on the center line, and a little straighter than they also thought, maybe out there on the path.
There's that sweep call to try and get the closest sweeper sweeping with the curl, try and get that extra curl, and look at that one. Well judged, well managed by Team Tam to put that one right on the side of the butt.
Nice shot.
Yeah, it's becoming a popular term with the sweep it, new sweeping tactics after a lot of research and science going into it about getting extra curl, about teams managing a stone. How do you manage it? Weight-wise, with what direction you're sweeping with. You see sweeping against the curl right now, and if they need to curl, you might see Wesley Wu slide to the other side and sweep the other way with just one sweeper, like so. They are listening to me.
Just take the guard there, so a chance to hit and roll here for Team Tam. I think Team Fenton used the Team Tam color jacket because they keep wanting to call them Team Fenton. like the center line out turn here as opposed to the outside in turn.
Well, makes the hit. Will make the big roll. Well, that a case of they just wanted to make sure they removed that one. They didn't want to risk it over curling or jamming on their own, just playing that extra weight.
I think so. I thought the weight was more than what we'd seen in the first couple ends for their hit weight, so I'm not sure if that was a little more weight than was called to, but you're right, Luke. I think the key was there not chance here though to make the freeze.
Hard line. Hard line. Hard. Hard line. Hard line. Whoa. Good. Yeah, whoa. No bounce. Whoa. No bounce.
I'm trying to get right down to it. Look at this one come in, the extra help. Adam Fenton right onto the nose and closes that scoring zone. Very nice.
So start some more make draws. Both teams here later in the third end here, so that's the draw weight honing in for these teams as we get going.
I think this is better for us. If you pick it out, even if we come back here, they come nose and then they just roll in. We're shot one.
So another deciding on whether to freeze. Another option might be to open up the center line a little bit. So team hammer in this end, and that scoring zone, like Luke said, is getting awfully small. So we may call this point on as another option here. But to elect.
So they come in, it's tough to really use because of how good that freeze was by Alex Duncan Wu.
Exactly. So the goal here for Team Fenton is to force Team Tam to 1.
You see a good example of what they have to get that extra point. They need side of the button, and I don't know if it's gonna, if you can get, you'd have to feather that red guard to probably get there.
Agreed. Yeah, from what we've seen so far, going out to ice on the edge of that 8-foot, the ice will be a little straighter out there, and that draw is pretty tough right now.
Guard called, almost just protecting. You got that single point set up right now. You don't want to allow them to make a play on that side. I think we might see guard throwaway to end this third end. So there's the guard call protecting against that intern side. Thought they might try and protect the out-turn draw.
Yeah, these are also one of those circumstances where you want to create any opportunities for your opposition here by in the wrong place.
Well, we saw the wrong placement of a guard by Adrian Tam in that second end, which led to a skips deuce by Adam Fenton.
Line's great, line's great. It's gotta be two though, it's gotta curl hard, curl. Hard.
Maybe just tuck a little bit underneath so takes away part of that run back option. Pretty good spot. I don't think there's a lot left, Will, on that right side of your screen as you see from the overhead.
So we're looking to have a go with the turn draw now. You'll see they've taken the ice edge of the and but having to come around a rock, well, pretty much on the 4-foot line there, and trying to get to the button. It might be more. Not sure they can get shot rock on this one.
Yeah, it could be a setup to see maybe you get a missed guard and then an opportunity on your last.
Well, both these teams have been competing for a number of years. The more experience of the two teams would be the Fenton team. If I'm not mistaken, this is Team Tam's first U18.
A little extra weight. It's
Wow,
just
this
getting
is
by.
close.
Now it needs to sit, try and curl at the end, get a piece of the button. Wow. I don't know if they got it there, but great weight, and they think they got it there for two. Fabulous. Gets there. Well, that is a perfect curling shot. They couldn't have placed that any better.
Agreed, and I think what Team Fenton is realizing here is it'd be awfully hard for them to follow him down. So might be opting to play the run back with this shot. Some people might wonder, oh, why don't you just freeze down there or tap? And it really did paper by that that guard, Luke. So I think I'm with Adam with this run back call.
I like it, and there's a couple different ways he can make it. He could go straight back onto the one just thrown, or he could go off his own as well. So two different ways. If he hatches it a little bit on the broom side or the high side of that stone, he could run it back. Maybe catch the red first, get rid of one, or straight back would be perfect.
For those of
But I
you
love
watching,
the weight
it's
call.
a little more of a control weight, not a big run back weight. So take note that you don't necessarily have to throw that big weight for these types of shots.
Well, Alex Duncan-Wu, hold it. Looking great. Look at this one come in, get the perfect line. We'll get the one. Just fabulous. I
Wonderful
love
shot.
the control weight on that run back. Too many teams, and sometimes you see the high end, the elite level curlers throw PO weight at that because they can just put the broom where they want and then make it. There, they throw control, able to sweep it, knew they had some options if they played it the right weight, and they make that.
It was pretty impressive. Their well-managed shot.
So I'm guessing throwing this one away and taking their one. I don't think I see another way of getting two. Well, a throwaway happened. Not the guards that I thought might have been, but goes right through. So after the fabulous run back by Adam Fenton, holds Adrian Tam to a single point and a 3-2 lead now in this men's semifinal, the under-18 championship. End number 4 here of the under-18 provincial championship for British Columbia in Delta. And Adam Fenton taking on Adrian Tam here in this semifinal. Top 3 teams made the playoffs. Chris Parkinson awaiting the winner of this one to play for the BC Championship tomorrow. Oh, what a nice couple of shots by the skips in that third end, Will. It was a great draw by Adrian Tam to get for second shot. But then Adam Fenton one-ups him and says, oh, I'll just play a control weight run back and take that one out and sit there.
Absolutely. Nice calls by both skips. The Tam skip looking to sit 2 on his first and just papered the guard, like you said, and then to call the run back with that control weight really showed a good grasp of the ice conditions, and it was great to see the call there. So well done to both teams, and should be an exciting fourth end here to get us to the halfway point.
And Fenton got his 2 in that second end. He trails in the game 3-2. You see the corner guard go up. So Fenton, and he now has the hammer in this 8-end game in the even ends. Well, that'll be something that a lot of teams will try and manage late, but you look in the fourth end, both sides have been unafraid to get right into it.
Exactly, yeah. The call there with the corner guard will give Tam a chance to put a center guard up here.
Gotta go. Full drag. You got it. Come on, you got it. 21. You're down.
A little bit of an undercurl there is going to give an opportunity here for Team Fenton to eliminate that rock in the rings.
Well, able to get at it with that guard, leaving it open, hit and roll. Wesley Wu. Well, they do have to be careful. You can't peel the guard out right now. It's still the 5 rock-free guard zone rule in effect.
Looks like a bit of an overthrow here.
So the peel of the guard, and they will have to put it back out. If it was their own stone, they could peel it out. You see the officials out there are helping the players make sure that one goes back out.
Is that close? Yeah, I think so. Okay. Either that or this. Well, we can do this. Like that helps, man. Well, then we're just giving them something to hit. Well, it's up to you. Okay, where do you want? We can go here too. It's just they're gonna start peeling.
So the bait here is whether to go to the open side, Luke, or to go around the center guard. Looks like they've opted to continue to go around the center guard. I like this call. I don't think you have to worry about grouping the stones because you are going around a guard.
You want to go back? Yeah. No, mine's great.
Well, a very long guard that they're playing around. They bring those 2 into the 4-foot. So Fenton with the hammer, lying 2. So We'll see what kind of weight. Her control is the call. Looking to make this hit on the nose.
Yep. Hard. Hard. Come on. Hard.
Oh, gotta get past the front, trying to get to the nose of it, and will crash on the guard out in front. Evan Fenton unable to get past the guard. And
Yeah, it looks
normally
like
see
they're
center
going to
guards for the
replace
team
that
without the
guard.
helmet. But they'll look to put this one, she said, will replace the one there because they got two in the forefoot in good position.
I like this call, trying to keep the deuce or maybe even the three-ender in play. Another option would have been to go open side, but would have left a pretty easy double for Team Tam. So same call here. Hey, Luke from Team Tam.
Yeah, and the guard's maybe even a little bit closer to the center line than the previous, but it's further. It's a little bit shorter of a guard. Should be able to have another go at this. Ethan Chu. Well, makes the hit, rolls away. So Fenton lying one. And Will, they looked at
Really
two
like
options.
the
Do you
call
like this
here
one?
Yeah, I really like the call here to go open side, Luke. I think it would be nice to sit two buried, but if you ever don't get this rock, if you ever go around the center guard and don't get this rock buried, it could leave a double. So I like the call here open side.
I just want to lie two with this, but I don't know if they gave the right ice to get that far out. It's not a draw that you're throwing a lot in a game.
So tough decision now if you're Team Tam. You could draw and shrink that scoring area, but all of a sudden there's a few points on the scoreboard left in the rings there.
My first thought was playing the freeze, playing that intern draw right to the one in the forefoot.
I'm with you, Luke. I think we've seen that shot a few times now in the game and seen it made, so I'm with you. Yeah, it's probably of the three shots here that are the options, I think that looks like the easiest one. Oh, this is interesting.
But I think they saw a coach in the back wanting to get a timeout, not necessarily liking the peel, and I was sort of thinking the same way, that I don't know if peel is the smart play. So they discuss it of what you want. You peel that front one, Will, you're just opening up a chance. They could play that freeze again. They could all kinds of things. You're opening up. You're actually helping the Fenton team, I think, by removing that guard.
You got it. I think the coach here is going to be talking about either hitting that open rock and kind of conceding the two-ender, or maybe even three, or throwing the draw around the center guard, a freeze, and trying to reduce the scoring area and maybe get a force out of things. So we'll see where the discussion lands, but I think it was a wise time to touch base as a team and make a decision here.
That coach, Ken Kraus, out there with the Blue Jays hat. just talking
Ken
things
has
through with the
been
team.
an active coach on the competitive circuit for years, working with our developing teams, and great to see him out here with these guys today.
Well, and this is where coaching bonds are grown and developed. You see some teams that have really, they've stuck with a coach for years and years and years throughout. Best example that comes to mind for myself is Jules Ochar and Kevin Martin. That went back to his college days, Kevin playing in Edmonton, and Jules all the way through till they won Olympic gold in 2010. So some of these teams, they'll stick with the same coach, and you see ones that develop with it. It's a lifelong bond, and they get a lot of knowledge from those coaches at this level.
You got it. The fundamentals these guys and these coaches are teaching these athletes, and are things that'll stick with them for their whole lives. And like Kevin going back to Jules, I think you see a lot of athletes working with their coaches throughout their careers.
And look at the result after the timeout. Fabulous shot to put that one right on the corner. It's not shot stone, but it can be used, and now it's to be dealt with by their opponents. And rather than peeling it and facing two, their second shot, and you execute the shot. That's the important thing out of a timeout.
Absolutely. Well used timeout and well executed shot by the team to close that scoring area down. So I really liked that call. Rather than to play a full peel, just played a peel that actually got one more rock in the rings. Was that the call there, Luke?
I was kind of wondering if that was exactly the call. That's an experienced call from a young team at this under-18 championship to play it that way. Chase
Exactly,
after it, you end up touching the guard. Now you're third and fourth in there. You're going to force your opponent probably to try and hit one of those. And if they don't hit it properly, make the double, you may have a chance to lie three, as that blue second shot by Tam is wide open.
Exactly. Important here for Team Tam to hit and stick, making the doubles a bonus, but rolling out it would be no good.
It just always even more impressive every time I see these young curlers out on the ice. They watch games. They're around the game. They play it. They know these shots. They're thinking that way. The creativity to do that is great, and it just bodes well for the growth of the game and these players.
Absolutely.
Now the execution needed here for Adrian Tam. Make the hit, won't make the double. Rolls over and will go out into the 12-foot. Is it third shot?
Too close to call without the overhead. There we go. Looks like blue is second shot, Luke.
Blue is second to one the top of the button. I thought maybe red, but it's obviously, it's very close. I don't think it changes the call here for Fenton and his side. You got to be careful with this one, Will, how you go about getting rid of that stone without either catching your red or jamming onto your back red.
Exactly, yeah. It looks like he's looking just across the face here a little bit.
Yeah, it's one in the hack that doesn't, to the eye, doesn't look that easy. It isn't an easy shot, but it looks tougher from the hack.
Looks like we got about hack to board weight here.
There's the switch to try and get the curl to cross the face. Cross the face, right through the hole, avoid touching their red. Well, just move it ever so slightly. But they lie too. near perfect to get that one through, and possibly could have been lying 3 if it was third shot. But now putting the pressure on Adrian Tam. Want to try and get a bit of a roll on this. Underneath, but they'll roll out in the open, and means a chance here for 2 in an even end and to take the lead.
Board waits the call here for Team Fenton.
Well, they gave up 2 in the first, that being Team Fenton, to Adrian Tam and his side, but has really bounced back. Made a great shot in the second and was able to get 2. Made another great shot in the third to hold him to 1. And here, opportunity, hit and stick to score 2 and take their first lead of the game into the break. And no problem for Adam Fenton. Right on the nose, it is 2 for Fenton, and they have a 4-3 advantage. We'll head to the 4th end break here. It's the semifinal of the Under-18 Championship from Delta, BC.
We're on a break.
Well, Luke Coley here with Will Sutton. We're in the 4th end break of this semifinal. The winner goes on to take on Chris Parkinson. And this game started off with an early deuce by Tam, but it feels like Adam Fenton and his team getting that deuce in the second with a little bit of a miscue on the guard by Tam really swung it in their favor.
Absolutely, yeah, and they really seem to be getting a handle on the ice conditions, and starting to see both teams make a lot of shots there in the 4th end.
And the 3rd end, we right after getting a skips deuce by Adam Fenton, he makes a great run back. We talked about at the moment the weight choice that he played in just throwing control weight as opposed to throwing peel and try and make that run back.
Yeah, he took the ice a little bit off the center of the rock, and so I was a little surprised. But he threw that nice board weight and control weight, and made a great shot there. And we so often see people just put the broom down and throw those run backs at 8 seconds or so. So I think a good lesson there for everyone, and nice to see that call made and executed.
So then it was Adam Fenton gets a deuce in the fourth end, but really it was back and forth throughout. An early deuce by Tam. Both these teams trying to get to the championship game. They're playing at the under-18 championship for British Columbia. There's a national spot on the line to the winner of this one. Chris Parkinson is in the final tomorrow. He already has one. So, Will, what may be going through their minds at this point leading into the second half of this game?
Well, hopefully not a whole lot of outcome stuff going through their minds, but I'm sure a little bit of that is. It probably feels a little more like a final here, with this game actually leading the winner of this game advancing to the U18 National Championship. So hopefully their coaches are getting a chance here to put things a little bit in perspective, make sure everyone is focused on what they need to go out there and do in the second half of the game, and bring things back to the process and whatever they need to do on each shot, whether they're a thrower, a skip, or the sweeper.
And Adam Fenton, a team of just coming in of 3 players, they're taking on Adrian Tam here in this semifinal. They look at the difference. You're looking at Adrian Tam coming in, winning 3 in a row, where it was Fenton losing their last 2, including a loss to Adrian Tam. Those get thrown out. Now you're in a 4-end game, positioning it. I think Adam Fenton maybe a slight advantage momentum-wise in this game into the second half.
I think you're right. Yeah, they're a little bit more of an experienced team, and even though they are playing with 3 players, I think as we've learned kind of through COVID-19, it is manageable, these things, when you have to deal with adversity, and they've been playing with 3 throughout a lot of this season. So look forward to seeing how both teams play in the second half, but would agree momentum is slightly with Team Fenton going into the last half.
So for these teams, obviously, you look at everything that's gone about throughout to get to this point. They're 1 win away from a national spot. There was uncertainty if this event would go because of COVID levels, but now they get a chance to be out there because there is that national level. They have a chance there. So we'll get set for the second half of this one. It's Adrian Tam trailing Adam Fenton 4-3 halfway through this one. Winner goes to the championship final tomorrow, and looks like we're just about set to begin back here at the Delta Thistle Curling Club. That's been a great host for this championship. And so that first stone, Wesley Wu. Get that center line guard.
So with the 1-point lead, we see Team Fenton call the center guard, so they're looking to have some rocks in play this end.
Hair out, hair out. I have to come around.
Unfortunately for Team Tam, this is slipping into the rings. Been a little bit of a consistent dilemma here for Team Tam with these early rocks slipping into the rings.
Yeah, you can only have 5 stones to get that out there. You're not going to have that many opportunities to get things set up. It's real important to get them in position. Game those early stones so important.
Call here is to hit and stick or even roll away a little bit. So Team Tam not wanting to roll towards the middle, as that would create a freeze opportunity for Team Fenton.
Get a piece.
They're trying to hold this, get anything, they'll tick it. Just push it out to the wings. line
this
one.
is interesting, Luke.
I think right here.
So deciding to come around that center line guard without the hammer, a 4-3 lead.
Line's a hair tight, but it's okay. It's okay. Line's okay.
We've seen this draw a couple ends ago. I believe this was the spot where a really nice shot was made by Team Tam. So the curl here is quite nice, about 3 feet around the center guard here. Good chance.
Alex, you're making a great one. Go, 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 go. Go, go, go.
You hear the encouragement trying to get this one as far. That is a fabulous shot. They put that one right in behind, and Tam is in the chase position now.
Looks like he's electing just to make the peel here. Not sure I saw the call for the run back.
Now, is this play the peel, and if you can catch that back one, it's a bonus?
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
Yeah.
Whoa, whoa.
Make sure you make the contact, get rid of it. Good shot there. Team Tam and Evan Fenton to get rid of that one. And Will, we were discussing it before. We want everyone not to be confused. There is a Fenton on each team.
Absolutely. So not brothers, while Adam Fenton does have an older brother who's a competitive curler. Cousins. So the cousins on the ice here competing against each other. So must be exciting for both dads, Brad and Darren back home, watching their boys compete against each other.
Oh, I'm sure there's a few texts, calls going back and forth between the two of them.
Brad Fenton
like
is
my brother.
the assistant or substitute coach for Team Fenton as well.
Yeah, no doubt those two involved in the game, and they'll be heavily involved with their team and their sons, as all parents are at this level for these players in the high performance system, really trying to grow that. And BC's done a great job in growing the high performance level of their curling, try and get these young players, and we'll peel that one through. And it's not just the shot execution. We saw it last end. It was the shot calling, the decision making of how to go about it. It was Team Tam that used a timeout to discuss it and find the right play. Well, it was Adam Fenton. They played a tap instead of just a straight peel to open things up. That helped lead to a deuce. So different ways. You got to have the smart calls, but you also have to have the execution.
Whoa, gotta curl a little. Hard, guys, right over. Right over, as far as it goes. As far as it goes. That's you guys. You try the peel.
Looks like that one is
How much can you see?
not quite far enough. Might be a hole there.
Stay close. Yep. Hard. Whoa, whoa, yeah. Yeah. Hard. Whoa, whoa.
Well, try and get through the hole. Well, pinball off the guards and open things up. Will they get lucky on the back one? Oh, it's a little unlucky that they make contact but leave it in the rings.
You want to do this turn? Yeah.
Always nice to throw down a path. You've thrown a lot of rocks down, and that's what Team Fenton's getting to do here. So should be pretty close on this guard.
Yeah, nice for them to throw a guard lying two, not just one, or with that back stone being a blue opponent stone, or guarding the single stone.
Well placed.
We get to the point where they think about playing the run back.
I think so, yeah. It looks as if they're just kind of walking up and putting the broom down for the peel, but I think we're on to thirds last here, so we're late enough in the end that Team Fenton's just going to keep repeating this center guard if you keep peeling. So it's time to maybe do something different, but always easier to say watching than doing, so I totally understand it's a tough decision to make out there.
Well, simple decision here in this fifth end for Adam Fenton.
Yeah, they've thrown this
Guard
path
up.
now about 4 times this end.
Well, it was their 4th round robin draw on the men's side that it was a 6-5 win for Adrian Tam. Took an extra end to win that one.
Hair wide. Hair wide. Got a curl. Hair wide. Curl a bit. Hard curl, Alex. Curl all the way. Slow curl. Slow curl. Just slow. Okay, line's great. Line's good. Line's good.
So they're going to be
Got
looking
curl a
for
bit.
Alex to finish this one a little bit after the break point.
Curl hard. 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 Hard.
They've done a real nice job in putting those guards out in front, forcing Adrian Tam and his team to go at the peels. And again, looks like Tam's
Yeah, they made it look
waiting to see
easy
if they can
there,
miss.
and it's not.
No, you've got to be real with getting the nice curl here at the Delta Thistle Curling Club. You got to make sure that you're protecting it. You're still able to get around them. Well, we'll peel it right through the hole. Room down, put another guard up. I don't think there's much decision making having to be done for Team Fenton.
Agreed. Yeah, if the guard's made here, it'll be a tough draw for Team Tam for their one, I believe, and not a lot of easy ways to get in there.
Line's good. Almost set. Just sit. Just gotta sit. Close. Gotta sit. Close. Whoa. Whoa. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Clean, clean. Whoa. Curl, curl hard. Curl. No, it's
Whoa.
really tight. It's really tight.
Sit.
Well, the tight here is not a bad thing now that it's the last stone. Coming in almost leaves a little bit of a teaser, makes the tap back more difficult. That's why I was surprised we didn't see Tam maybe make a run at the run back with his first at least.
I think you're right, Luke. That'll be a good teaching moment maybe for Ken after the game, just to talk about. But playing that run back on thirds last was pretty important, I think, or maybe even on seconds last. So looking to make the double here to give up 1 point, Luke.
That's what it looks like to me, with the broom definitely tightened up, and that I saw from front end with the hand on the head, meaning let's throw this one peel weight.
I'm a little surprised by this because another option would be to just hit the open one to give up 1 point.
Or there is the chance there is the 4 foot you could get one by playing the draw. Haven't done much of that in this end, so here's the run back for Adrian Tam. And will miss it just narrowly by that stone in the 4 foot. And it's gonna be a steal of 2 for Fenton. They extend their lead without the hammer. 6-3, 3 ends remaining. Winner into tomorrow's championship final against Chris Parkinson. So 6-3 as we play end number 6.
Well, that was a really well executed end by Team Fenton. Really seemed to have their handle on the ice conditions, and it was a matter of a lot of made shots versus a lot of half shots in that end from Team Tam. I think which resulted in the steal of 2 there, along with maybe some strategic decisions late in the end that could have been made a little bit differently by Team Tam.
Yeah, and it's one of those ones that you'll make a note of for sure as the coach. You'll talk about after. These teams always have a debrief after. They'll talk about things, and it's not always pointing out the negatives. It'll be pointing out the positives as well. I really liked what you did here. I liked what you did there. Maybe you could have played this a shot sooner. Could have tried this maybe a couple of times with the guards coming tighter. But now you have to regroup, and here's where you hope a team can get back after that, facing some adversity. You see
Absolutely.
those ones in that one in the rings. You got it set up. Play a solid 6 then. Now you still have the hammer. You're only down by 3 points. You get your deuce and right back into it. So James Lamb, the lead for Team Tam, looking to put the corner guard out in front, and has become even more crucial as you try and come back down in a game, getting these guards out in front. But a mistake as James unable to keep that one in play. It goes right through, so not even in the rings. That goes through, and Adam Fenton, line 2.
A pivot here from Team Fenton now after the throw through. He's going to put a guard on top of these and maybe go into a steal mode, even though he does have a 3-point lead. So a couple options here, Luke. You could open it up, or you can make a play on those rocks in the rings. Based on the scoreboard, probably makes sense to try to keep rocks in play at this point in the game.
Yeah, I tend to agree with that, Will. You come in, if you move around, maybe try and tap them back. So they do end up just peeling that guard. The other option was if it gets by, you play the one in the rings. We saw this the previous end to steal a 2. It was put the guard back out in front. And
so
Will, I don't know, do you think much other than putting the guard back out?
With a 3-point lead now, it all depends on what your goal is. This to me means that Team Fenton sees an opportunity to maybe steal here. Another option would be to just peel that guard and sit 2, and there's a lot less risk in giving up 2 points for Team Fenton by peeling the guard. So this isn't the wrong call. I just think it depends on what type of team you are and whether you are maybe a balanced attack or a little more aggressive team. And
I think we nuke it. Nuke it. Yep.
came a little deeper than they wanted to there. I think I heard Team Tam say to nuke this one. Another option would be to maybe throw a little bit less weight and try to keep your blue in play.
To the rock.
And it's important. Said try and nuke it, throw the big weight, but don't overthrow it. You got to make sure you get rid of one. They do get rid of one, but they stay out in front. They still leave Fenton lying 2. And they're happy just continuing to guard things up.
Yeah, what I really like about Team Fenton this end is since they started to throw this guard about 2 shots ago, they haven't pivoted from that. So they're kind of sticking with their end plan when they, after having an opportunity to throw the guard on their 3rd rocks when Team Tam came a little heavy on their corner guard attempt. They've been really consistent with this end plan to try to steal since the opportunity came up.
Well, and unfortunately that one by Hogstone didn't fully get over the hog line, so gets pulled, and Tam on their side get a break. They needed one to go their way. A few have gone against them in the last couple ends, so they get that one.
That's fine if you crash into the blue. Just do this.
Good chance for Team Tam here.
Yep. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Yep, yep.
Well, trying to get through and just touches the top one. There, an unfortunate break, not removing it. They just chip it over. Still, Fenton lying 2.
Adam's just explaining that if they throw the center guard, Team Tam might be able to do something with the 2 blues. If we could just have a look at the overhead.
You think at this point you just let them try it? You're in control of the game, in control of the end. It's not a high percentage shot, but there is something to play at.
Yeah, I think this call's fine. It's tough to see without having a look at that overhead, but I think that was this is a reasonable call. Although, I mean, it might be helping the other team now in a moment here, so it might have been worth having a little bit of a discussion there. And really, the discussion is whether it was the right call or the wrong call. It's what are you leaving your opposition with the call you're making, and not to say that was the wrong call, but it is going to be a rock that can maybe be used by Team Tam if they execute here.
Got to get the right angle with those 2 side by side. Run it right onto the red. Very nice. They have just spun out a little in the open, but not fully exposed. Protected by that center line guard.
You don't think we can hit the stick? No. We can do this. Like that. No, we just draw around. But that brings in 2. If we just hit that and maybe get it, that's really good. And like that.
So talking about playing the draw here or the run back, it sounds like Skip Adam Fenton likes the run back, and that's the smartest call to not give up any more than 1 or 2.
So skip stones this 6th end. Trying to hold it to run it back, and we'll pick that one out. They stick around to line 2. There's a run back where you throw extra weight.
Easy, Luke.
He does it 2 different ways. We saw a quiet weight, we saw the big weight, and I like the big weight there because if you miss it, you want to peel that one out. There, they leave the center, they leave the 2 in the rings. Adrian Tam, now time to try and generate a skips deuce. Trying to make this draw right around and right down to the button there, trying to get it behind. Great effort. Is there enough to go after, try and pick that out, or play the run again?
I think there is, you could pick it out, but after just throwing the run, it almost looks easier. Another option Adam's looking at here is to close the scoring area down and just make a freeze. Looking at the scoreboard here, if you can force Team Tam to 1, being up 2, playing the 7th end would be pretty good with the hammer. It looks like he's electing to call the tap back, Luke?
Just a little tap. Thought I saw like back 8-foot weight, so just try and push it back. But gets down, is going to call a timeout. You see the coaches are in behind, and they can sort of have a signal to let the players know they want to call a timeout.
The coach of Team Fenton is Fuji Mickey. He'll come out and talk to the boys here about the options, and I think Fuji may talk about playing a freeze and maybe closing that scoring area down, or throwing the same shot that Adam just threw in the run back. But I'm not sure the tap back is going to be where they land, but they may still land there too as the third option.
See, this Team Tam there, Coach Ken Kraus comes out. Both coaches can have a discussion at the time when either team takes the timeout. So either you're thinking, well, the freeze.
Oh, sorry, yeah.
The freeze,
I'm
the run back,
the freeze
or
here.
the pick.
Yeah, and I'm thinking the freeze is nice, that it really closes that scoring area down. So the freeze is the call, in my opinion, based on the scoreboard. However, if you know you're going to make that run back, obviously that's a pretty sweet shot too.
Now, and where the broom's going down, looks like it is the run back.
So the
Probably
original call was some sort of tap. So looks like Fuji got them away from the original call and back to the one that was just thrown on his last.
And you know what? A lot of players will talk throwing the same shot twice in a row is something you want to do. So this is an opportunity for Adam Fenton with his last. And right away on it. Well, and might have got this one going. We'll just peel that one out. So an opportunity for Tam to tie this one up. Or pardon me, cut it into a one-point game.
One of the reasons that playing a softer weight shot there is nice is because it doesn't make this shot so easy. So even if you weren't shot rock after playing that last one, at least the scoring area would have been closed down by quite a bit. So Obviously, with the miss there, it really creates a more simple draw here for Team Tam to get themselves back into this game. Within 1 point, anyhow.
And set up by a great draw on Adrian Tam's first. He came around the guard. Wasn't perfectly buried, but it was enough. Now needs this one to stop to get the second point, but he'll go through. So he made the nice one on his first. The second one goes through, and it is a single point. So 6-4. Adam Fenton and his team lead Adrian Tam with 2 ends to play. Well, as we begin end number 7, of course, these events, a lot of work goes on to put them all together here at the Delta Thistle Curling Club. A lot of sponsors as well, the provincial sponsors, Kruger Brands, Best Western, Czech TV, CBCSports.ca, Bel Air Direct Insurance, Connect Hearing, City of Kamloops, Baker Tilly, Original 16 Lager, Ice King, the Province of British Columbia, Sport BC, and Via Sports. Of course, you need local sponsors for all these events to go through. In Delta, Save on Foods, Family Glass, Napa Auto Parts, and Valley First Credit Union. These players, you see them on their jackets, they appreciate all the sponsorship help they can get. Of course, obviously, amateur sports need that. As that first stone goes into the rings, I'm Luke Coley, joined by Will Sutton for the 7th end. Winner gets a spot in tomorrow's championship game.
Yeah, thanks, Luke. It's an exciting time here in the 7th end, and so great we're able to bring this to people all across BC and the country. We haven't had many spectators in this facility throughout the week due to the COVID protocols. Each team's been able to have 3 family members or friends watching each draw, so it's really nice we've been able to bring this to everybody today to watch across BC.
Yeah, it's always great to be a part of it and see the curling action. And they're trying to get this one across. The first one went in for James Lamb. The second one comes up short. So struggles there. They missed the draw to end that 6th end, and then 2 missed shots there. Ones that a lot of people say, oh, it's just a routine. You just put up a guard. It's not that easy, and they're working hard to try and set it up. And this makes life a lot easier for Team Fenton.
Yeah, it's always tough. No one's trying to miss out there, and we really see the athletes here trying to make the adjustments based on their previous misses. And I think as spectators and coaches, that's all we can really ask for is asking people to try to make improvements and changes. And it's really great to see these 2 teams out here giving it their all.
And normally as that one comes into the rings for Team Fenton, you probably see the hit, but knowing they're down 2 points in the 7th end, got to try and get a guard out front, got to force the issue a little bit. These teams here at the under 18 championship obviously have participated in the BC curling tours, the junior version. I know, Will, you've been around those as the competitions manager, and it's important they get those. Normally, obviously, more events in non-COVID situations, but they're able to be out there playing this championship and getting these experiences. One that they'll look back on and say, you know what, we didn't play that 7th end very well. We didn't start off, get those guards in position. And that's how you become a better athlete in not just in all sports, is learning from mistakes.
Exactly. Both these teams have had a chance to play on the BC Junior Curling Tour this year, and while there have only been 3 events this year due to the COVID-19 circumstances, it's great to have a tour like that for these athletes to compete in. Both these teams also have been developed on through the Optimist Junior Inter Club, which is a league that takes place in the Lower Mainland. So all of those leagues and tours and things that are part of the long-term curler development model here in BC really do lead to what you're watching here today. And hats off to all the volunteers and coaches and administrators who are a part of the system.
I have to go a bit. Wait only, Einstein. Whoa needs to curl. Whoa. Just here. Big curl. Big time.
So now change of tactics, trying to play the freeze, knowing that those guards aren't there. They try and freeze that one on. Bounces off just a little bit. For Adam Fenton and his team, trying to get a little bit of retribution for a loss against Adrian Tam in the round robin, but more importantly, a spot in tomorrow's final, and they would be headed. So the two teams from BC will go to the under-18 national championship as well. There makes the hit. Punches that one out of the rings.
Yeah, this really is a special year for a lot of these competitors. It's who are coming into their last year of U18s. They haven't had the opportunity to compete in this BC championship for the past 2 seasons. So we're super excited to be holding this BC U18 championship this year, and even more excited to be seeing 2 BC teams going on to the nationals later this season in both the women's and the men's category.
Trying to make it tough on Fenton, get a mistake out of them. Just a little bit short. Great effort on that freeze attempt, but you see the distance there.
Yeah, really good, really close shot, and yeah, as we know, freezes are tough shots, and just for those of you watching at home, another option in this circumstance would be, when you're down 2 without the hammer, to continue throwing a center guard. So as the principle kind of is, we want to bring play back to the middle when we don't have the hammer. However, sometimes you get a miss like that, and away we go. So we'll just keep listening, keep watching, sir.
Yeah, they talked about playing quiet to try and stick the shooter. Then they decided, you know what, let's rip it, which I liked. And sometimes just maybe got it out a hair. You said it early, Will, if you release sensitive, you get it out, it's not coming back. And they pick their own out. They just don't want to bring it too close. They want to guard it. As it comes in, they're make that nose double. Alex Duncan Wu. Of course, this team playing with 3 the whole event. The way they came into it. And Wesley Wu throwing 3, Alex Duncan Wu throwing the next 3, and then Adam Fenton throwing the final 2. We'll just get the 1, peels the top one off.
See the time clocks there ticking in the background. Both teams have lots of time at this point in the game.
And that is the thinking time, so the clock will stop once the stone is delivered. Won't have to be penalized for throwing draws as opposed to hits that they've been doing for the past few years. Trying to see if they can get another mistake out of Team Fenton. Guard that one up. Very nice.
Shot.
Team Tam didn't have the great start to the end, didn't get their guards in position. That's why it's fairly open. But they battled. They've forced the issue with their opponent. Adam Fenton can play the peel, try and peel that one across the top, or he could just straight peel the top. He's going to have the 4-foot if he wants to draw 2 with his last. You heard that whoa right out of release. So we'll get that top one.
So now it sounds
Not
like they are
wasting any
opting to split the house.
Is that to force Adam Fenton to draw against 2 points as opposed to just the single?
I think so. I'm not sure Adam will draw. I think depending on where this ends up, might just choose to try to hit and roll for his 1.
Well, wants to split the rings, was heavy with his draw, last shot draw in the previous end, and this one as well. So just the execution missing on that one for Adrian Tam. And do you take your 1, go up 3 into the 8th end, or blanket? Will, do you preference on that?
Sorry
do you,
about that.
do you
Yeah, 2 up with the hammer. 2 up with the hammer coming home is awfully good. So I think I'd be in support of the blank end here, especially with the 5 rock rule. 3 up coming home, you should be good. But they get a couple center guards up and a couple misses, and you could run into some trouble. So I do like the blank attempt here.
So the final stone of this 7th end will hit, roll out, and there's the blank. So it will remain a 2-point game. 1 end remaining here. Fenton and Tam, winner, moves on to tomorrow's championship game. So the 8th end, Luke Coley joined with Will Sutton. It's the BC Under-18 Provincial Championship of the Delta Thistle Curling Club. Glad to be here with you as we watch Team Fenton taking on Team Tam, and it is Fenton with a 2-point lead and last stone advantage. We see the first
really
stone
nice to see
James
that
Lamb,
center guard so well placed. So Team Fenton here will look to have Wesley make the tick shot with the 2-point lead.
Well, the flipping back and forth to determine as they try and tick this one over. Oh, real close. Oh, just a little too much of that one, so great effort on that. Well, they discussed it. Will, which did you look at? Either the high guard or the come around?
Yeah, I believe the high guard is the appropriate call here. Another option would be to throw the come around, but being that you're down 2 without the hammer, it's going to take a little more than one rock behind the guard. So I do like the high guard here.
Yeah, I like that. And a good placement. Obviously, you want one in front of the other, but
Will you take the closer one? Yeah. This side. Yeah. So probably a little less weight. That was pretty off. This will move more.
And with the 2-point lead here, you're seeing Team Fenton opt to play the tick again. If they were only up one, you might see them play around those rocks. But being they have a 2-point lead with the hammer, it's really going to be about eliminating rocks this end. And the tick shot is one way you can do that when you're not able to play a takeout.
well, they want to try and just touch this one over. See if they spin this one into the rings as a little bonus on it. So very nice, able to chip that one over. Opens up that left side of the house to get into the 4-foot. Looks like they're making the decision to go in right now. Oh, a great sweep to get that one right into the 4-foot. Could hear the intensity there from Adrian Tam, knowing they need to make every shot count here in this 8th end. Trying to steal 2 and tie the game up. Well, they want to make sure they peel that one out. And
yeah, fortunate to get away with that one. Looks like they were trying to hit it on the other side, but let it over curl and got away with it. So good call here from Team Tam. Going to try to replace that center guard. It's early in this end now, so need to be really patient in these sorts of situations and hope for something to change down the way a little bit.
well, they put the guard back out in front. Just trying to bide some time till later in the end to make your move to try and get 2 in there.
I'd rather hit it close to the nose than hit it into that. Oh, wide. Whoa. No.
They talked about where they didn't want to hit it, and that was right into that one and roll it back to the center. So they did discuss where they didn't want to, and they do exactly what they talked about.
Yeah, that's unfortunate for Team Fenton, but opportunity here for Tam now, and really important on this one to keep some separation between the 2 blues in play and the blue that's being thrown right now. So they're talking about coming in now. Another option would be to put up a center guard a little higher than where Team Tam is signaling right now, just so you don't leave an easy double or even a triple. So a 1-zone guard here, center guard, would have been another option in the circumstances.
Yeah, get it out high, some room between the 2.
this level, it really is about executing and putting some pressure on your opposition. So no matter what the call is, it's really important to buy in and do your best to throw the right weight and throw the rock well. Nice shot here.
And right in there, I think, had talked about the guard, but they end up going to the top of the 8-foot.
So
Fenton's going to smash it.
Thirds first here, and Alex looking to make a couple go away.
Yeah, nothing here. Trying to slash that guard in. And looks gets all of them moving. And do they get rid of two? Very nice. That's a great curling shot.
Great shot.
Alex Duncan Wu. Now there's no guards. There's nothing on the center line. That was the risk when you brought a second one in so early.
So unfortunately for Team Tam, not a lot of options here. It looks like they're just opting to draw in and sit two.
Got to make sure you get in and lie two at this point. You want to try and force Fenton to throw against the potential tying points, preferably the winning points, but they're in to lie 1-2. Do you want to stick around if you're Fenton?
You know, I don't think you do, Luke. At this point in time, it's really just about eliminating the opposition rocks, and there's only two in play, so leaving yours in play here might be something that they can go around or at least create a complication you don't need right now.
Well, they'll hit and we'll roll in for shot stones. So now you're forcing Tam to either come around it or make a hit and stick if they want to lie too.
So you're in a circumstance like this, it's really important you look at the end you're in and you look at the scoreboard. And if you obviously we want the other team to throw their last rock, but we want that last rock they throw to be as difficult a shot as possible. And by playing the nose hit here, you're pretty likely to leave an open hit for Team Fenton. Another option might be to try to hide behind this red rock that Team Tam's opting to hit, and maybe create a little bit more of a discussion or a thought process for Team Fenton. Not to say this is the wrong call, but it's just always important to think about, you know, what are you going to leave your opposition by playing the shot you're going to play, and very important to look at the scoreboard, look at the number of rocks left in these sorts of circumstances.
Well, the hit, and we'll roll out of the rings. That was what couldn't happen. Now make this hit, and that will be the game. Unless you figure you can try and split that blue one in, but I don't think that you can the way it's positioned. That was how important it was that you stick around. This looks like the make this one go away. And Adam Fenton and his team out of New Westminster is into tomorrow's championship game. Focus on the eyes. They know make this one go away and you can win it with your first, not leave it to your last. And that will do it. There it is, fist bumps, and it is Adam Fenton and his team picking up the victory over Adrian Tam in this semifinals. So Adam Fenton and his team will pick up the win, and they will head into tomorrow's championship game. They know they will be one of two teams heading to the Under-18 National Championship, along with Chris Parkinson. So we'll bring you in, and that one, a Started out, Adrian Tam got too early, but then it seemed like it was all Adam Fenton and his team from that point forward, Will.
Absolutely, both teams should be incredibly proud. Bronze medalists for Team Tam, and at least a silver medal for Team Fenton. And they're going to punch their ticket to the U18 Nationals. But after the two in the first end, Team Fenton did really seem to have control of the game. Well played game by both teams. Nice to see the camaraderie amongst the athletes here, and well done to both teams in their results today.
Yeah, well played game, and that sets up a Chris Parkinson taking on Adam Fenton final tomorrow. It was Parkinson winning 4-2 in their round robin game. Look for a good one in that game tomorrow, but both teams know they're going to a national championship. They can play, have some fun tomorrow. It maybe takes a little bit of the pressure off playing in a provincial championship game, knowing that you're going to the nationals as well.
Absolutely, but I'm sure with the BC Championship on the line, both these teams will be out there looking to become BC champions tomorrow.
So that finishes up our men's semifinal. We have the women's semifinal coming up for you at 7 o'clock Pacific time, and it'll be Gracelyn Richards taking on Amy Wheatcroft, who won a tiebreaker earlier today, setting up a good one with Emily Bowles, who will be in the final tomorrow, awaiting the winner of that one. So we have more action coming for you from Delta and the Under-18 Provincial Championship. It's been a pleasure bringing you this one. Look forward to seeing you this evening for more coverage from Delta and the Provincial Championships from Delta.